Hi everyone, I'm Max with Customers Chasing You, and today I'm going to teach you how to fix your time management crisis in less than 15 minutes. We're going to go over the strategies that I've used in my business. I've spent a lot of time and invested a lot of time in finding solutions to this problem. It seems like it's rampant. Everywhere I go, people are very concerned. They don't have time for this, they don't have time for that. And so I'm going to go into that a little bit deeper, and I'm going to share with you some resources that I use to manage and budget out my time so that I know that, what I'm investing my time in is the most, important and highest use thing. So the goal that I want everybody to have when they leave with this, I'm going to reset the timer here and make sure I stay on track. I got to have my tools to help me. All right, I want you to learn how to choose the right time investments for your goals. And when I say time investments, I don't mean spend time. People who are poor spend time. People who are wealthy, they invest time. And they invest time in things that are, very strategic. And so, I'm going to teach you in this video how to work backwards. My coach Benson, I'll put some links to him and his contact info. He's incredible at this. He's helped me a ton, really learn mastery of this. And then there's been some books that I've read. I think the most influential one, One Thing is really good. I like the book When, W-H-E-N. That one talked all about that. It's when. It's just all it talked about was time. Essentialism's really good. Looking at my shelf back here, I'm like, what other books? I have a time shelf. This is one of the main components. If you don't have mastery and know how you're investing your time, I don't think much is going to happen. It's going to be really hard to hit big outcomes. A lot of these books where they talk about focusing on your highest and best use. Perry Marshall, 80-20 Sales and Marketing, that book's incredible. Deep Work, it's like my favorite book of all time. There's so many books on time, so if you don't have time to read all those right now, I'm going to summarize, but I want you to be able to know that what you do each day rolls up to the outcome you're trying to achieve. Okay, so how are we going to do that? Well, I talk about 5 audiences. So there's 5 audiences in your life, in my life. Okay, that doesn't change. And then I've got 1,440 minutes per day. That's not going to change. And so, what can I do with that time, and how am I using it the right way? Okay, so here's some objections I get about people when it comes to time management who have read, most of these objections come from people who've read no books on the subject, and I don't know, they're not open-minded. So if that's you and you're not open-minded, it's just not going to be a fit. But if it is, and you are open-minded and you're ready to get back your life, I figured out how to do it flat out. I've never been happier with the way that I invest my time, and I'm going to give you the exact same tool I use to budget at the end. So just stay tuned for that. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps more people see it, and I would greatly appreciate it. So a lot of objections I get where people say, I'm always busy, and investing time in. Well, they use the word spending time. That's a clue. And they say, spending time on all this budgeting stuff and time management. Who's got time for that? And it's just like, well, that's why you don't have any time. And we all have the same amount, but that's why your time is not allocated the way that you want it to. I want to have fun also. I don't want to just work. Max, that's cool, that you have your schedule, broken out in 15-minute increments. I want to have fun too. Well, guess what? I have fun stuff broken out like that too. That's how I make sure that I have time for it, right? Because I budget it, I plan for it. So I have no time to track time. I don't know what to say about that. And then, that's pretty much, those are the main ones that I get. So what I've concluded is that people, intentionally, successful people make very purposeful time investments in activities that help them achieve their goals. That's it, period. So they're very, very strategic with how they spend their time. They don't waste it. They know it's the most valuable resource. Because when you're broke, you think you got lots of time. And then when you start making money, you realize time is by far your biggest constraint. And so what do? You use your time more efficiently. And then you can only get to so far. And then you have to bring in other people to help leverage time. And then maybe you switch businesses, because some businesses require less of your time or have more time leverage or have more scalability without the input of like a human's time. So it's like, it's a progression on and on. So depending on where you are, we should have somebody for everything. I don't want you to get to the end of your life and saying, I wish I had done this. Why didn't I do this? I regret not doing this. Like, that's not going to happen to you. It's real simple. You put down on paper what you want to do, goals for each area, each audience of your life. There's different people that, need you. Okay. So you make a goal or goals for each one, and then you make sure that what you're doing rolls up to that. It's just that simple. It's hard, but it's simple. It's interesting. So getting up to speed, I want to make sure you guys all know this. Time is a non-renewable resource. Okay. That's it. Like the amount of time that I invest to create this video and shoot it, like I can never get that back. So I have to make sure this is what I want to do, but I want to get this information out to you because I think it's super valuable. Time is valuable. Just ask somebody on their deathbed and they'll tell you the number one thing they want more of is time. Read Steve Jobs, what he wrote when he was dying. It's powerful. But time is investable. You can waste it and just, do stuff that has no value and doesn't help you. And remember, your goals and my goals might be different, and that's okay. Just make sure that what you're doing matches your goals. Okay, that's really the bottom line. So what are the 5 audiences? Number 1 is God or a higher power. So like the audiences are places and people and things that you invest time with. So here's how I break up my day. It's pretty simple. I invest time with God. I invest time with myself. I invest time with my family. I invest time with my community, and I invest time with my customers, my work. So these are some of the activities that I do for each one. So for God or higher power, I pray, I go to church, I do meditation. Okay, so that's what I do. Those are activities. They take a certain amount of time. If I do them consistently, I'll get to the result that I'm looking for my religious goals, my God goals. Yeah, I have God goals. I do. Okay. And what about serve yourself? Number 2. So that's when I sleep. I have to take care of my sleep and my body. I read. Only one person can put information into your brain. It's you. You have to put the information in. Exercise. If you don't take care of your body, where else are you going to live? You have nowhere else to live. I cannot understand how you cannot take care of your body. I don't want to. It's not that much fun. I'd rather be reading or playing with my kids or, teaching something or studying something or helping a customer or making money, but you got to. And so it's like, you got to do it. Entertainment. That's, I have fun sometimes. I'm not as good at that one. Number 3, serve my family. So that's one of my audiences. It's somebody who wants some of my time, right? That I want to give my time to. So how do I do that? I teach my kids things, leading, helping, supporting, sharing. I went on a date, with my wife today. It's in between video shoots, but it's like, you got to make that time allocation because you can't get it back. My community. So that's charity work. That's teaching at my church, community service. I haven't done as much of that as I really want to. So that's something I got to still work on. Definitely. That's probably my weakest area. Serving my customers. So that's being at work, helping customers, training my team members, and making money. So that's what I have. And my coach, Benson, kind of broke those audiences out. So thanks, Benson. I'll put the links to him. His book is The Business System That Never Fails, How to Build a Business with God's Blessing. It's a great book. We'll put the links down to it. So you got to allocate time investments for each one. So there's a certain amount of time that you can allocate to each one of those categories: daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. And then there's certain activities. And so based on what you do and how much time you do that is going to probably be what your outcomes are. So it's all, you have to set the goals first, okay? So goals, what are your goals? These are the steps. What are your goals for each area? So you got God or your higher power, whatever you want to do, okay? Yourself, family, community, work. That's it. So what are your goals for each area? So set some 1-year goals. Because I mean, a lot of people on this channel, I talk to people when I go speak across the nation, my licensees who license our book, lead generation system, people I meet at masterminds, they got pretty good work goals. But then when I ask them about their personal goals, their family goals, their spiritual goals, they do the same thing I did 2-3 years ago when I started this journey. Huh? Just nothing, you know? Okay, so no goals. If you don't have goals, then you're not going to have an idea of what time investments you need to make. If you don't have any goals, you're not going to know what activities. So you won't know how much time to spend in an area, and you won't know what to do to get you where you want to go. That's it, okay? So goal setting, here's a real simple way to do this. And I was not good at this when I started real estate, and now I'm really good at it. I practice it a lot. I mean, I'm sure I can still get better, but this is something I'm pretty good at. You know, when I show what I'm doing with my peers, they learn a lot from it. Is what one thing do you want to achieve in each area by the end of the year? Okay, I'll just share with you some of mine. So like, I have a goal of how much I want to read in the Bible, okay? So like, I want to finish it the whole year. So like, I just figure out how many days, about how long it takes, and then that's the activity, is to read, right? And then the time investment is the time that I allocate. And I just put it on my calendar and budget it and schedule it, just like you would do everything else. What is my goal for myself? So for me, it's a certain amount of minutes in the gym per week. So I keep my heart pumping so I don't keel over, you know, because I still have a lot of things I want to accomplish. Okay, so it's pretty simple. I know what activity I'm going to do at the gym. I know what time, and I just budget it. Then my family goals. So like for me, my goal is to spend 3 hours a day with my family. 3 hours. Well, that's not very much. You're a bad dad. Well, you know, I'm in growth mode right now. Okay, so I got to make that time count. And so I figured out when I'm going to invest those hours, which is 6:30 to 9:30, and then I'm thinking about what I'm going to do in those times. And so I have goals for my kids. I want them to leave my house learning certain skills, and so I'm doing stuff that helps them learn how to pick a good, you know, spouse, how to make income, right? How to still stay connected to their faith. So I'm doing activities that are centered around those three. And, you know, that's it. So I'm modeling good, you know, behavior, because that obviously helps them see what, you know, they should be looking for, like, you know, in relationships, okay? I'm teaching them some of the things, introducing them some of the resources and books that I read, and I mean, some of my books. And, you know, slowly, you know, I found with kids is it helps. I'm not an expert in parenting, but I've got some kids, it's going good. And I used to be a teacher, so I've studied it a lot. And, you know, when they're younger, helping them just really with like the foundational principles has been, you know, really valuable. Then as they get older, you can introduce them to more specifics. So that's what I'm doing. Seems to be working. And then, yeah, so that's helping them with that. And then, like, you know, taking them to church, praying with them. You know, it's helping with the spiritual side, you know, and then same, you know, with me and my wife. You know, you got to allocate time to talk about stuff, non-work stuff, go out on dates, have fun, right? So that's it. Community. So, you know, that's, you know, the part I'm not as good at. I've been donating, and I mean, obviously that's good. They need money. I would like to, you know, be on some like different councils and stuff and help. I haven't allocated the time, so I got to do better at that, right? And then work, you know, that one's pretty specific. If you use the EOS model in the book Traction, you come up with some specific goals for your business. You break it up into quarters, and then those are kind of like you break it up into your main activities, and then, you know, you allocate it for your team, and, you know, it's pretty easy to track 3 to 7 big goals per you know, quarter. You know, it's like every day you know what you need to be working on. So that's it. But we said one thing. So what is one thing you want to achieve in each area by the end of the year? Start with that. There's a video that I'll get you a link to. You can Google search it. It's called 1440 Minutes. And it's just some different people that got interviewed, and they talked about what to do with their time. And so how do you allocate it? It's pretty simple. You have God, yourself, family, community, work. Those 5 areas. So pick the best daily activities that are going to help you get to your goals. So if my goal is to, you know, lower my blood pressure, or, you know, get to, you know, like training for a marathon or a half marathon is different than training for a bodybuilding competition. You know, you can tell which one I picked. I'm more of the endurance athlete physique. But, at one time I did powerlifting and I got up to like 500 deadlift and 400 squat and 300 bench, which, for some people watching, that's like what they were doing in middle school. But for me, it was a pretty big deal. When you look like Jerry Seinfeld, it's not a lot of weight. So it was huge weight for me, but it took me 4 years and I had really specific goals. So that activity was for that goal. So they're different. Now I just basically want to stay lean and keep my heart pumping. So that's a different kind of activity. How much daily time do you need to invest in each area? And then you just schedule it. Because if you put it on your schedule and you run your life off of your schedule and it's planned out ahead of time, then it's just more likely to get done. And then once you have a great plan, you have to actually produce the results. Okay. Another thing that I want to caution you on is build in a buffer, because if everything that you do when you're getting started is like minute by minute, your ability to like forecast how long things are going to take is going to get better over time. So at first you might be grossly underestimating how much time it takes. You might forget like, okay, I budgeted 60 minutes to go to the gym, but like I have to drive to the gym, I have to get dressed, I have to come back, take a shower, get something to eat. So kind of like plan that in as a buffer. And you can get pretty good at it. I mean, I really like it. I feel like people ask me all the time, man, and however many years, whatever period of time we're at. But I mean, they've been asking me since day one, at the 1 year, the 2 year, the 3 year, the 4 year mark. They're like, how have you been able to go from being like a math teacher to all this success? And I really think that this was, obviously all credit to God and He's helped me tremendously, but I think it's really just being so purposeful with my time. And I'm not perfect at it, and I need breaks too, and schedule breaks. That's the other thing that I forgot to mention, is if you give yourself no breaks and you think you're just gonna like work all day and all night, man, I've heard some people can do it. I'm just not one of those people. I need some breaks. I need like some time to kind of like just decompress, and I think most people do. So you have to measure your time investments that you make, because there's a difference between what you plan and what you execute. And what you execute is what gets you results. And so you have to be really in touch with what's going on. I've used a program for a long time called Rescue Me, and it basically tracks your time while you're on your phone and your computer, and it categorizes it for you, and it's pretty cool. And it really gives you clarity as to, how much time you're on Facebook wasting versus, actually doing stuff. So that's really important. And then figure out how many minutes you're going to need to invest in each area in order to be successful. So how would you like to invest your time? You got to make sure the total is 1,440 minutes. You can't go over. You can't get any more. And then so it's kind of like two phases. This worksheet that I'm going to give you access to, the first phase is like how you're allocating your time right now. And then just look at it and be like, okay, if I'm spending like 2 minutes a day with my kids, are they going to turn out good? I don't know. Depends on what your goals are, right? Depends on how lofty they are. So you write it down, get clarity on where you are in the present state, and then ask yourself, what changes do you need to make today in order to invest the right time based on your goals? So it's getting clear on your goals and then changing up your schedule. So the steps are, you write down the 5 audiences, you make one goal for each one. In whatever part of the year you're watching this video, just make the goal for the end of the year. If you have less than 3 months, maybe make it like a year and 3 months. Pick one activity, the best one that can help you reach that goal, because they're not all created equally. And then schedule daily time for that time, that investment, or weekly time, but probably one of the two. And then just review each week and see if what you planned is what's actually happening. So that's it, guys. Not that complicated. Get your goals, get the time each day, pick your highest and best use activities, and then just plan out your time for your year, your quarter, your month, your week, your day. And if you do that, you're going to be like amazing. You'll notice the difference in the changes night and day. So we've created a spreadsheet to help you plan your activities and time investing. So it's just 2 phases. Just put what you're doing now, the amount of time, and then make some goals and reallocate your time. I hope you're already doing it, but most of the people, I've taught this workshop many different places. I had people crying, like military, former military, really tough guys. Everybody, it's really emotional. And so it's really personal and it's really important. You can't go back. So just make sure that whatever you're doing it with 100%. You know exactly why you're doing it, and it's helping you get to where you want to go. So that's all I got for today. Click below on the free tools to access this link. It'll give you the library, all of our scripts and blueprints for the videos that we've created. We'd love to hear your success story of where you're at right now. Just put the comments down below after you fill out the worksheet of what you learned from the worksheet, what you learned from the video, and what it is that you want to do better at. So until next time, be well, be blessed, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.